At Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Northwest Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 479-203-5880, or visit our website at directservicenwa.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. By the way, this will count as our Wednesday show as well. I'll be back on Friday to wrap up this interesting week. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Again, appreciate you for being here. Tusk Talk with Ty, post-game show. Disappointing. A wild second half for Arkansas. Wild. Just wild. I mean, I really thought there for a minute there they were going to pull this thing off, and they couldn't. They were down by a lot. Had to overcome some they just really struggle. They really struggle to get out of their own damn way. And it's just insane. By the way, this is a call-in show. If you want to call in, vent a little bit of frustration. We certainly had some of that in Discord tonight. Folks letting the moment get the better of them. Hey, listen, we've all done it. We're all guilty. So shout out to sponsors, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, located in, one day I will not say that. They operate out of Central Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas. They offer same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. They'll come take a look at your door for free. No charge, just to come take a look at it. Would you just look at it? Just look at it. Are you familiar with Ed Bassmaster? That's a great video. That's an all-timer on YouTube. Would you just look at it? They'll come do it for free. They'll come look at your garage door. 501-244-3667. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. And, of course, the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria on Emma Street here in Springdale. Fantastic pies, great stuff on tap, great environment. It is a staple in Springdale. It's a staple on Emma Street. Great place to catch a game, although tonight didn't really matter where you watched it. It was, I don't know, man. It was a mix of just bad. It was a mix of like, wow, Arkansas's up by 10. Vanderbilt then goes up by double digits. They get a huge lead. Arkansas claws their way back into it, and then they just fall apart at the end. Let me get this link out here to you guys. Again, if you want to call in, please feel free to do so. Jerry Stackhouse has Muscle's number. That's 3 straight. It's repetitive, man. It's repetitive. We know when they trail, when it's 10 plus, 12 plus, 14 plus, and they just keeps, and it just seems like, whoever it is they're playing tonight being Vanderbilt, it just doesn't really seem to matter. Although tonight they did fight back. I will give them credit where credit is due, but my God, this team they vanish. They vanish. All Vanderbilt had to do once Davenport leaves the floor, Stackhouse goes plays zone defense. He's not too concerned. Once again, you see a little 1-3-1 action because Arkansas is no threat outside in the perimeter. They're no threat at all. They're no threat. They have to settle for these jump shots, and then it doesn't help that Tremont Mark is missing. Everyone's missing early on. Arkansas starts off 1 for 13 shooting outside. Just abysmal basketball. Like they have no answer. against the zone, especially if they can flex on you and go 1-3-1 and not have any concern whatsoever, you've got a problem on your hands. You got a problem on your hands, man. This has been the same story. We've seen Arkansas break that before with far better play around the rim, and tonight they just didn't have it. Hey, again, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Copy and paste that link. You don't have to share it on social media. You can send it in a group chat, but if you do send it on social media, make sure you tag your boy. It helps out this channel. And once again, I do appreciate you guys. Musk got out, coach, plain and simple. Says Cheesy Skull. Again, if anybody wants to call in, I would love to hear your take. Oh, Lord, what did I just do? There we go. I'd love to hear your take. Call in. Let me know. I want to hear it. I'm not one to throw in the towel, but damn, says Taylor Roberts. Just brutal. Unbelievable. It's true. They have a problem against Vanderbilt. Yeah, Arkansas, and this is what's crazy. Arkansas could be a far above 500 SEC team. Obviously, they're not that this year, but they could be a far above 500 SEC team, ranked, possible top 6, top 5 seed. Vanderbilt be the worst team in college basketball, and yet Stackhouse still finds a way against Eric Musselman. You could sweep A&M. You could sweep 2 SEC schools this year. That's not great, but still, when given the opportunity to sweep, they did it. And you can't beat Vanderbilt at home. By the way, this was their first SEC victory on the road. Vanderbilt, it's just so disappointing, man. It's just so crazy. Embarrassing is a right way. I don't disagree with this either. It is absolutely embarrassing. Muss is leaving. I'm not sad about it at this point. Losing to freaking Jerry Stackhouse is sad. Well, Ashton, to be fair, they've lost to Jerry Stackhouse even on years when they go on tournament runs. I don't want to overreact to one bad year, okay? I don't want to say, so long, Muss. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. That's silly. He can have one bad year, guys. He can have one bad year. I know that's not easy to swallow. I get it. I know people want at least a better product on the floor than what we've seen. I understand that. But you know what? Again, he just didn't hit it. He didn't hit it tonight, man. He didn't hit it this year. He didn't get it right. Muss did not get it right this year, and it's showing. Again, I put up a poll on the Tusk Talk with Ty community page, and I've gotten quite a bit of pushback on it, which is funny because then I have one person telling me I'm late to the conversation on it. And that's very obviously someone who doesn't watch the content, because every time we do a postgame show, this comes up, us leaving. It's still on social media. It's still a topic of conversation. And then tonight, what happened in our Discord? There it is again. There's the talk about Musselman leaving. So that's why it's a poll. That's why I put it up as a poll. If you got a problem with it, don't take the fucking poll. All right. What's going on, Brim? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm all right. I'm at work, watching Arkansas lose at home to Vanderbilt.
Something else, man.
Just when they get your hopes up just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. They went, 11 minutes without a basket at one point in time?
Well, they finished the first half. I think they missed 17 of 18 shots from the floor. I mean, bro. I mean, it was like 4.5 or 5 minutes without a bucket on the floor.
We're down by 16 with 5 minutes left.
Yeah. Yeah. Now in the second half, yeah. And they managed to. I thought that run they went on, Battle caught fire. Battle went off. I haven't even gone over the numbers yet. I thought for sure this was it, man. They're going to do it. They're going to get that big comeback win against against Vanderbilt.
A comeback win versus Vanderbilt. They even have to say that, potentially say that says enough. This game was really like an actual microcosm of the season. Play like crap, can't shoot a lick, get behind a lot, then catch a little fire, come back, and then fall short. This the entire season in this one game. This season's over with, guys. So we just watch the game to see them play hard to finish the season. We're not going anywhere.
No.
We go nowhere.
It's crazy to think about it isn't anymore. I think we've all arrived at this point for a while. We've been here for a little while, but it is crazy to think about all the hype and excitement we had coming into the year, to think that, you know what, the season felt like it was over by the beginning of February. That's just crazy to think about. But it's, we've talked about this time and time again. I had Blake Lovell on Monday, and I just straight up asked Blake Lovell. I said, he wouldn't even let me finish the sentence. He said 0.
Yeah, I know. I was watching. He shut it down like, no, we ain't going nowhere. And then we had to win this game to even have a chance to get it going through. We might lose the last 3 games, man. I put on my sunshine pumper hat on for about 2 days. The hat's right off.
And this, again, it's another game you felt like Arkansas should have been. This is a game that you felt pretty confident. Okay, if they're gonna sweep A&M on the year, they did beat a crappy Mizzou team. I get it, they're horrible, but still, like, you felt like they had a little bit of momentum, and they shit the bed again. I don't know. It's over. The season's over with. They're not going anywhere. Fans have come to that realization. I debated not even doing a post game tonight because it's an 8 p.m. tip off. It's Vanderbilt. There's nothing at stake here other than just a 3-game momentum, a little bit of a momentum swing at the end of the year, hoping they could carry that over. But yeah, no, it's this team.
The only thing I'll say, though, is this. As much as we can bash them, they are playing with effort at this point. They just don't execute well. They're trash. I mean, I don't know how many times I see them get beat off the dribble. Just not the team. They're just not it.
Ellis tonight, boy, he got beat off the dribble. It felt like a lot.
Devo got beat off the dribble a couple times too.
Yeah, and he has all year.
All year.
I don't know.
That defensive presence that he used to have, it waved bye-bye. Yeah. I went back and was watching old games from the first, the NCAA tournament games, and it just is not the same Devo. Defensively, it's just not. He's not the same guy defensively.
Why does every shot take? They look so well. They don't set up their own shots. You don't ever really see them take looks off of outside ball screens. You don't ever see them set up their own shots. It seems like. I mean, every once in a while you'll see someone. Like, you'll see someone, a big, come up and try to help set up a screen, and maybe there's a little bit of ball movement, but it feels like there's no plan of action. They struggle getting to their spots on the floor. They don't have an offensive identity. I mean, they haven't had one under Musselman. That's not anything new, but this year it's just so much worse.
Because our defense is so much worse. Do you understand that Vanderbilt had not scored over 80 points this entire season until they faced Arkansas Razorbacks at home?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Not all year. They have not scored over 80 points. Let's see. Someone said something. DVH has a bad year or two, and no one is calling for his job, says Gavin. This is Gavin Strother.
The problem is, Gavin, baseball don't got the same intensity as basketball and football.
Yeah, and how often does DVH have, like, historically bad years? I mean, this is historic when you look at the losses at Bud Walton Arena. And
we lost 2 games by over 30 points.
Yeah.
We've lost 5 times by 20 or more. I mean, now if DVH was getting beat, mercy rule 5 times in the season, then you can say it's comparable. But again, baseball doesn't get the same fervor as basketball, and then basketball don't get the same fervor as football. So there's a pecking order. So when you got more people paying attention, there's going to be more scrutiny. So you just got to look at it from a realistic lens.
That's true. Yeah, and it's that whole apples and oranges thing. Charles Harper says, Ty must leaves. I'll take Stackhouse. If he had more talent, his team would be a problem for a lot of teams. He's had some pretty decent teams at Vanderbilt.
He just never could win enough.
No, No, give me Muss over Stackhouse. I mean, again, and I hear you, Charles. I get what you're saying. We're all frustrated. Muss is still a better coach. I know he's he struggles against Stackhouse. But if Stackhouse was really that great, he wouldn't be coaching at Vanderbilt as long as he has been.
He wouldn't be 8-20. He wouldn't have 0 NCAA tournament appearances.
Yeah, exactly.
He has none. The closest he got is with Scottie Pippen Jr. Then again, they wasn't quite good enough. They were a sub SEC 500 team and didn't have enough strong victories to even. They came close once because they had a nice little run at the end, but we felt like they deserved it, but they didn't get in. So that's the only time they ever knocked on the door.
Yep. Yeah. No. There's going to be some. There's going to be some crazy takes after a loss like that. I'm at the point now where, what is it? Apathy? Is that it? Is it apathy? Is that the word I'm looking for? Like I
don't know. If it might be the word. I'm not sure. I would say I was going to say desolate, but that ain't the word. It's stoic, very stoic.
Yeah.
You know, we're pretty stoic. It's like, okay, we're here. You know, the season's over with.
Yeah. I was before the game. I had to take a nap because I didn't sleep so great last night. I'm a little grouchy, if some folks can't tell, but I took a nap and my wife got home late. She went out and had dinner with a friend and she was like, "Isn't there a ball game tonight?" And I was like, "Oh, damn, that's Vanderbilt's tonight." Yeah. And so I had to get up and splash some water on my face and sit down and watch that horrible performance. I had to sit down and watch, and I knew like I got to do a post game. Because, you know, tomorrow I don't really have much for tomorrow yet. I'm getting ready for spring ball. I'm getting some stuff put together for that, but that's still in the works, you know, for a live. And I'll save all that material for Friday. I'm done, man. I'm so tired of talking about basketball. I'm so tired of it. I realize like I'm a content creator.
For you got a new grade growing right now. It's a new grade is growing right now as we speak.
Is there?
You talk about the Arkansas basketball. You have a new grade growing right now as we speak.
I think I see it. Yeah, right there. I think I see it. I'm losing hair. I'm telling people I'm going to be bald by the time I'm 45. Nothing wrong with that. I'll just rock a beanie or.
Hey, I rock a beanie because look, you see how I grow? You see that big spot? It's not pretty.
Oh,
but I got to get my hair cut tomorrow. But it really just comes down to this, man. I just want to see the guys play hard and finish the season as best as they can and don't get blown out in no more games. That's all I can expect from the guys. There's nothing else to add for that. You know,
I like what you said earlier about the effort. They are still showing it. Brazil with that bonehead move, foul there.
Foul.
Oh my God. Like, you really think about it, that might have been the play that lost this game for Arkansas. It put them at the free throw line with the lead.
There's plenty of plays that lost it for them. If they just,
True. But, I mean, that was 4 seconds left on the shot clock. You're down.
And they were almost at half court.
I mean.
That would have been a shot clock violation.
Oh, yeah, there ain't no way. I mean, Arkansas had all the energy. The Bud Walton was feeling it. Bud Walton was on one, bro. And it felt like, oh, here we go, baby. And then I just see Brazil dart across my screen. I'm like, what just happened?
You know what? Some people said that I know that they said, when we start playing like crap is when Brazil got in the game.
Might be some truth to that. I don't know. Like, I love I mean, he showed effort tonight. He had a couple of really nice long reach boards. And he showed.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, they've been doing it out. He's always done a few good things. It's the inconsistency. Yeah. We don't have the problem with this team is the lack of consistency of execution and performance. Yeah. They don't have it. It's just that what it is. Shout out to Battle for another phenomenal, hard playing game, though. You know, but I mean, the guy's shooting the ball. He's balling, but unfortunately, as a team, as a collective whole, they just don't have it to be. You know, upper echelon squad. They don't play good enough defense. They get beat on the dribble too often. And then offensively, we go on these gigantic long droughts because, you know, and part of that is almost because the way he runs offense or lack thereof, you know. I mean, listen, it's just an entire total team loss for the season. From coaching to players, they lost this year. Yeah. They just didn't. Musk got out-coached in some games, and the players got outplayed and out-hustled and outperformed on the court. There's no other way around it to slice it but that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And again, that they ending that first half one of their last 17 shots.
That's crazy.
That is nuts.
How you going to be up 20-11 and then be down 35-31 at halftime?
By shooting 1 of 17 your last
do it every time. That'll do it every time.
and again, the defense just melted away. It looked like, man, look at the hustle. They're chasing them out off the perimeter. Oh, they're doing it. And then they just completely, the offense dissolves, the defense. It's like one end of the floor affects the other. It's almost like that. That's kind of.
And that's the difference between this team and the years past. The teams in the past, they could play horrible offensively, but defensively, they would always keep them in games. We didn't get blown out with these other teams. And that's the difference between this team and the previous years, Yeah. Without good offense, they don't play consistent good defense. And the teams in the past, they play good defense regardless. And if we had good offense, then we was off the charts, But it just swing and a miss this year,
Yep.
The tears are real, bro.
I'm telling you.
Out of here. I don't want to talk no more Arkansas. I don't even think I'm gonna pull up on my bros tonight. Because I'm gonna get killed over there for pumping sunshine.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. All right, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Be blessed, man.
Take it easy.
You too.
Yeah, I mean it's just so tiring. It's so tiring to talk about this all the time. Let's go over the numbers. I know, who cares? You lost. Arkansas, or we'll go with Vanderbilt. What kind of the symptoms were here to Arkansas's flu-like performance on the floor, especially in the first half. God, one of their last 17. That is unreal. That is I don't know if that's ever happened since Muss has been here, and I don't think that ever happened under Mike Anderson. I could see maybe a Pelfrey team doing that. I don't know. I would love for Hogstats to pull that up. Vanderbilt, 29-57. Guys, they walked into Bud Walton Arena and shot 51%. They were awful outside, 4 of 16. They started off slow there. They ended up shooting 25%. They were 72% at the free throw line, 23 of 32. A little bit of bench production. They struggled against Mignon. I mean, that dude, 4 boards, 3 assists, no turnovers, 22 points. He was the engine. He was the engine to this whole thing. Lubin, who should have been playing with 4 fouls, he fouled Battle earlier in the second half. Clearly a battle. I mean, even the guys on the broadcast thought that, well, he's going to pick up his 4th foul. He should have. That could have changed. That could have greatly changed how this game played out. And you think about that run that Arkansas went on to close that gap. Lubin was a big problem for Arkansas. This guy had 2 blocks, 19 points. He had a double-double with 5 offensive rebounds by himself, 7 defensive, putting his total at 12. I mean, he was a one-man show down in the paint. Arkansas had no answers for that guy. Lawrence is their second leading scorer at 21 points. He too had a good game, just 2 turnovers, but he had a steal and 5 other boards to go along with the 21 points. But Lubin was the problem. He should have been playing with 4 fouls, which greatly changes the dynamic of Vanderbilt. And I would even go as far to say it might have had an outcome on the end of this game. Now, I know from that moment on, you have this kind of domino effect of a bunch of things that went wrong as Arkansas, as the game played itself out. And again, you go back to that Brazil foul out on the top of the perimeter. It was way far out. I don't know how many feet away from the damn rim. Too far out to be doing stuff like that. You have got to be – you're not brand new to basketball, Brazil. This isn't your freshman year, a freshman mistake. What are you doing? I realize we could talk about some of the other stuff. We could talk about some of the other silly fouls and things that Arkansas did and the turnovers and silly passes. We could talk about that stuff. But that moment for me, that was like that's it. That's when you talk about having big moments or big plays. That could have been a big play had he gotten the turnover, and I love his effort. I love the energy there. I love it. But what are you doing? There were 4 seconds left on the shot clock, and they were 100 yards, might as well have been 100 yards away from the iron. What are you doing? That was such a bonehead thing to do, and I was screaming. I was sitting here like, are you kidding me? It was not smart. And I think that so much of this game. But again, you can go back to several little moments, and like our boy just said, like Brimley just said, there were so many. It was so many moments in this game where Arkansas just kind of where they lost it. But for me, that's the highlight one for me. That was just silly. Shouldn't have done it. Brazil did get some more time, obviously. Not that it. I mean, he did have 7 points, 6 boards. This says 0 offensive rebounds. I don't know if that's right on ESPN. I'll have to look over at the Arkansas stat sheet side. We got a super chat here. Who you going to get? Well, that's the answer. It's just who you got to look at it. Man, I'm ready to get back. You guys know this channel founded on football. That's where my audience is. That's where everything's at. I'm a lone act. I don't have a set of people on my show. I'm a lone act on these streets, out on these Razorback YouTube streets. But I know football's where it's at. And I'm so excited to get back to that. And we can discuss. Maybe we'll do some call-in stuff during spring camp. I don't know. And we can discuss Arkansas football and spring camp. And I know too, like the outlook of football is not great either, but there's plenty to talk about there with Bobby Petrino. This is just depressing, and you can't let it affect you emotionally. I'm definitely not in that category, but it's like the same shit every post game. Now, lately, Arkansas was trending in a far better direction. But man, you let these guys walk in here, shoot 51%. You let Lawrence and Lubin and those guys. It's just disappointing. Lewis got 11 points off the bench. Arkansas shot 40% to end the game. It certainly wasn't that way the whole time. They weren't shooting 40% the whole time. It was like 30% most of this game, 30 to 33%. And they just went off late in the second half and brought that number up quite a bit, 3 or 4 percentage points. 10 of 30 outside shooting. Again, they started off something like 1 of 12, 1 of 13 shooting. They were phenomenal at the free throw line. I mean, 84%, 26 of 31. Battle goes off. The first Razorback to have back-to-back. I think it's back-to-back 30-plus points since Mason Jones did it in back-to-back games. Great game by him, 14 to 17. Boy, he knows how to get to the free throw line. He's not afraid. He'll charge right into that rim. He was 40%. It's hard to get mad at Battle when he shoots when he looks at the outside shot. 9 of 17 overall. He did have an offensive board. And by the way, he had yet again 6 total rebounds. He had a ton of turnovers. His turnover number is just not good, but he's got the ball in his hands a lot these days. But he had 6 turnovers. Arkansas with 13 team turnovers, just 12 assists. So you were -1 in that category. That's not a recipe for success. But neither is shooting 32, 33% most of the game either, at home or road or neutral floor. Shooting 1 for your first 12 outside is not that's not it. Vanderbilt did a good job. They could play 1-3. They could play the 1-3-1 zone. They had no problem with it at all. They weren't scared. They were not scared of your perimeter shooting. And then Arkansas was able to open it up. Again, thanks to Battle. Davenport had a 3. Ella Ellis, by the way, 50% outside. Ella Ellis had 3 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, just 2 turnovers and 19 points. Like Ellis has been a positive. He's been a positive piece in these last few games. I think he started now 5 straight games. You won a couple of them, but you can't put that on Ellis just because he's starting and they're not winning more. I mean, Ellis tonight was great by Ellis. I said we were back last. Yeah. Back to another losing season of football. Well, I mean, hold on. We don't know. I mean, odds are probably, but we'll see. Ty Brennan says in Brazil's foul, not a good foul, cost us the game. Well, I said that a minute ago. That was a crucial bonehead mistake. If you guys want to call in, I'll throw the link out there again. If anyone wants to call in, give your thoughts. There's the link. I was asleep in coach entire second half, woke just after the loss and got a download from the wife. I watched these crappy games with the volume off and eyes closed. Okay. That's one way to do it. Not going to lie. I turned that trash off at the 8-minute mark. Don't need the headache. Nobody does. Nobody does. Yeah, it's just kind of, listen, the sooner this gets over, the better. The sooner this season gets over with, the better. I want to know what happens with Musselman. I want to know what really happens with the future of Arkansas basketball. I am in the mindset of anything can happen. I've been there now for several weeks. Anything can happen. And let's see how this thing unfolds. I mean, the year's done with. It's been over with for a while. But I want to see how this all unfolds. I want to see. And then if he does come back, if he is the head coach again here at Arkansas, which I think is also just as likely as any other scenario, then what does he do? How does he handle? What does he do in the transfer portal? What does he do in with high school recruiting? Does anything change there? You know, what about the two guys you have committed now? Are there any changes? Can you hang on to who you have committed? What does he look for in the transfer portal? Because obviously it did not work. It didn't work this year, and that's the banner for this year, right? It didn't work, and that's okay because it's worked before. It's worked before. He had a top 8, top 6 transfer class somewhere in there. I think by the time it updated, it ended up being like right around the top 10, I think. But he's been able to get just about anybody he wants. Yes, he whiffed on some players. We know that. Okay, he whiffed on some high school kids. He whiffed. Listen, you're not going to get everyone you want, and you can argue that some of those losses were pretty big, and I'll agree with you all day long. But for the most part, he's been able to bring in who he wants. He's been able to bring in McDonald's All-Americans, 5 stars, have elite recruiting classes. I think he can do that again. I don't think one bad year takes all that away. I really don't. I don't think one year makes all the other good go away. The 3 straight Sweet 16s and back-to-back Elite 8s are still valid, and Musselman was the reason for that. And you think about how bad things were before we were able to get him here. I mean, you went 2 decades without having much relevancy at all in the month of March. And Muss brought that back to Fayetteville. So I hope they get him back. I know that this game, ugly, this season, ugly. Last year, you finished 8-10 in conference play. You're going to finish below 500 again in conference play. You're not getting into March Madness. It's not happening. I get it's real easy to let that pessimistic voice in the back of your head tell you, get rid of Musselman. He's garbage. He's terrible. I know it's easy to listen to that voice, but then you also have to realize, oh, wait, this guy is responsible for some great moments in the month of March and a lot of excitement. Just didn't happen this year. So it is what it is. All right. That's going to do it. I appreciate you guys. Again, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'm exhausted, tired. I know you guys probably are too. It is almost 11 o'clock after all. I'm going to keep, I haven't missed a post game all year. I'm going to keep doing them. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe they get an upset somewhere. I don't know. Maybe we'll have something fun to talk about, but, I wish the season ended when they go down to Birmingham when they go to Alabama, when they go to Tuscaloosa. I wish the season ended there, but it won't. We'll have to cover some more games. We'll see what Arkansas does. Maybe they have something up their sleeve that finally kind of works, at the end of the year. I don't know. I'm out of ideas. If Muss could nurse this team to the NIT, this team needs all the competition they can get. Muss is a good coach. Yeah, I mean, I would say, I guess, go. I mean, go if you know that you got some guys coming back and Muss is coming back for another year. Because then that's more practice for those. Like, from that standpoint, yes, I would be for them going into the NITs. I would support it. I'm always for more basketball, for more football, right? We've talked about this before when Arkansas was really bad in football season, and they shouldn't even go to a bowl game. Well, they went and they beat Kansas. It was more practice for the guys that were sticking around. Not that it ended up doing much good, but it's more opportunities for guys. That's why I'm in favor of it. But at the same time, I just wish it ended. I just wish it was done and over with. So we just need to get our NIL fixed as Brady Lewis. If you're talking about to keep Muss, yeah, you're right. This is a good comment right here. Guess people think good coaches come a dime a dozen. As soon as the next coach have a bad season, we will run him out on a rail. Again, I think people put way too much, like, nobody's running Muss off. Like, realistically, I think the majority of fans want him back. I don't think, like, we're giving fans entirely too much credit. Coach isn't going to come back because of the fans. I don't know that I've ever heard that. Now, you have a scenario that played out when, who was it, Greg Schiano was going to Tennessee. You guys remember that? And then I don't know if it was a fan or a website or someone drummed up all this bullshit. It's happened with other coaches in a hiring process, but I don't know that I've ever heard a coach say, I moved on because of the fans. I think we're giving entirely too much credit to fans. I don't think they have that kind of impact. Now, if they're not going to games, right? If they're not helping out with the NIL, if the fan support's not coming through NIL, that's something else. You're going to always have toxic fans, no matter where you go. That's a given, especially in the SEC. So when I hear someone say we're going to run somebody off, I don't know if you're talking about the U of A. And by the way, Hunter Yurchek does not want Musk on either. I can tell you that right now. Hunter Yurchek, you don't have to be a mind reader. I mean, this guy is responsible for bringing Arkansas basketball back to relevancy when it mattered, right, in March. Not that Mike didn't do a good job during the regular season. It's something else when a coach, and that's where that poll comes from. That's where that community poll, go take it. Don't complain about it. Go take the poll, and if you don't like the poll, don't take it. But the poll says, who's the coach next year? And Beard's name has come up more than any coach. I think that's probably mostly. It sounds like there's something to it. There's some people who are in the know who believe that there is something to Beard. So that's why I put him on the poll. And the third option is insert your own name. And the first option being Musselman. I'm playing it as I have no idea how it all unfolds. I don't. Anything could happen. I think what's just as likely as Muss comes back for another year. I think that's just as likely as anything else. Would it shock me if he left? No. NIL spending or NIL money, maybe, I don't know that he's worried about his contract. I think Arkansas can compete with just about, I think you could probably count on one hand the schools that would outpay Arkansas for Musselman. And I love what Blake Lovell said. Again, go watch that interview. Blake Lovell, who I interviewed yesterday, was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, lined it out perfectly. What he said about Louisville, I agree with 110%. And he also said, looking at it from another point of view, Louisville's in a struggling conference, and you would be welcome there with open arms, and you'd have the opportunity to be at the top of what was once a very respected basketball conference. And that could be appealing. So that makes a little bit more sense. But in recent years, Louisville is not a better job. That's why I've been shocked at that. It's starting to make a little bit more sense as to, talking to Blake about it and listening to some other people talk about it. It makes that also, hearing their side of it makes as much sense too. That, yeah, why not? Why not go to Louisville? They have a dedication to basketball over there. That is a basketball. They've got a lot of history. 3 national titles. I think one of them they had to give back. I mean, they have history in basketball. That is a basketball school. So, yeah, I don't. Again, I would like to see him back. I don't know how that. I don't know what happens. It's going to be fascinating to watch, regardless. And I'll cover it. I'll be here if there's breaking news. I'll be all over it. So, Muss will leave when he's ready. Not a second sooner, says Bobby Swain. Yeah, I mean, I think the ball is completely in his court. Again, nobody's running him off. No one's running him off. Nobody, you're going to have your fans that are just stupid on Twitter tagging players and coaches. Those people, they know those people exist because they exist everywhere. Fan is short for fanatic. I don't think that's why Muss will leave. I see that comment everywhere. Oh, fans are running him off. No, they're not. If he's leaving, and if he came out and said that, I think it would be bullshit too, by the way. Because he's been a coach for how long? How many crazy-ass fans has he had to deal with? I wouldn't buy it for a second. If he left, it would look to me like the appearance would be, oh, it got hard, so you left. It got to be a little challenging, so you left. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, that's going to do it. Again, I will be back on Friday. You guys have a good Wednesday and Thursday. Oh, Arkansas baseball won today, by the way. 21-1. It was 21-0, and then they scored late. You guys, I mean, I know it's Grambling. I get it, but the pitching, though, they're speaking volumes right now. They had 11 strikeouts today. Gave up 4 hits. Now again, it was 1 hit until or 1 or 2 hits, I think, until the final inning, and then they did rack up 4 hits, but only 1 earned run, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. Fantastic day, but the bats were unbelievable. Oh my goodness, Edmondson! How about Edmondson? 3 runs, 2 hits at 4 at bats. Diggs continues the hitting streak, 400 average. I'm telling you, if you're new to baseball, I'm doing a little bit of coverage on it, a little bit, not a lot. But if you want to follow a good product on the field, an actual good part of the university athletics, baseball's where it's at. They're going to probably lose some games they have no business losing. That's part of the game. It's not a 40-yard dash. It's a marathon. I guess I don't know what the actual saying is. It's late. But that's a sport to keep an eye on. And if you have a shot at I shouldn't say not letting down the fans, because postseason play is something different. But this certainly feels like a team, one of Dave's best, and that's saying a lot. So we'll see what they do with it. We'll see what they do. All right, I'm done. I'll see you guys on Friday. Another disappointing loss. Hopefully they can find a way to get an upset somewhere. I don't know. At least make it interesting. That's all I want. Make it interesting. Entertain me. All right. I'll see you guys.